Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part 2 of the How Do You Vegas series with Vegas Dave from WeWorkToVisitVegas. We hope you enjoyed the first one. This one we have Darren and Sally, the Las Vegas couple from Instagram, YouTube. You guys on Twitter? I don't know. I'm going to ask them when we get on here. But they are a very cool couple. I've chatted with them, actually not a whole lot. We've kind of been aware of each other for the last couple of years, and I decided, you know what, let's get somebody that not everybody necessarily knows on here. I don't want to do just famous YouTubers, famous personalities in the Las Vegas vlogging world. So let's go ahead and get started and say hello to Darren and Sally, the Las Vegas couple. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Glad to have you guys on here.
Delighted to be here. Delighted to be here. Thank you for having us, Dave.
Yeah, it's no problem, guys. So you guys have been a pretty big presence. You guys have a pretty decent presence on Instagram, yeah?
We've been on Instagram for years, 4 or 5 years, I think.
Yeah, because I remember that's how we originally found you guys. We kind of found each other through Instagram years ago, I think.
Yeah, before we worked to Visit Vegas, actually. I think it might have been Michelle before you, just a mutual love of Vegas. And that's what we're on there for. We want to chat about Vegas because, quite frankly, our friends are fed up with us. So we have to wait.
Yeah, I know exactly how that is.
Yeah, slim pickings in England to find people who will just entertain you when you talk about England. So this was like our therapy, just to sort of put stuff out there and get people to.
It's slim pickings. It's slim pickings here too, guys. It's not it's not just there. I think sometimes the guys that I work with they're kind of interested in like my channel and stuff and how all of that kind of works. But outside of that, they don't care unless they're planning on going to Vegas, and then they come and find me because they have questions.
Oh yeah, we find that as well. When somebody goes, all of a sudden you're the best friend. Like, where's the best friend?
Yeah. Doc, where can I get a free meal? Nowhere. Yeah. Nowhere. Okay, guys, so we're going to start out with some of these questions. Like I said in my last one, and I'm going to say it again in this one, we have a set of, what do I have here? 16 questions, and they're the ones that I'm going to ask everybody. So starting out, where are you guys from? Apparently not the United States. We can tell by the accents.
So not Australia either, because that's the other thing that we often get when we're in Vegas. Where the accent is confused with Australian, particularly my accent. So we're from a place called Belper, which is in Derbyshire. And if that doesn't mean too much to some of your viewers, then it's basically right in the middle of England. And it is probably as far from Las Vegas as you could get. We're surrounded by green fields, tumbling hills. We look out the back gardens to fields of sheep and cows and all sorts. So a little rural country sort of setting within the middle of England is where we're probably.
So you guys live. See, here in America, we would call that the abbreviation for that is BFE, and it's actually bumfuck Egypt is what we call that. Is that a pretty accurate description?
The way I describe it, the place where we're from, the town where we live, 200 years ago was like the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, which was a great claim to fame. But it sometimes feels like we haven't moved forward in those last 200 years. So
I got you.
We're a very important place in the world a couple of 100 years ago, and here we are today, still talking about it. But it's beautiful. We're both born and bred. We wouldn't move,
Yeah, no, I understand. All right, guys. So question 2. How many Vegas trips have you made over the years?
Ooh, you better take this one.
So I think we've done 9 together.
Yeah.
I've done 2 solo, and you've had.
Yeah, I so my first trip was 1982 when I was 8 years old. So I've done 10 trips, 9 with Sally, 1 when I was a child, and you've done a couple previous to us getting together, haven't you? So what's that? 12 for you? No, 11 for you, and 10
11
for me.
and 10.
There you go.
And we're trying desperately to get that next one in the bag, but my God.
I don't think anybody knows what's going on with that right now.
No, right?
Yeah, there's just no way to tell what's going to happen moving forward right now.
Yeah.
So I know you guys are travelers. This next question is kind of more for, I guess, local people from the States and stuff, because I'm assuming you don't take a direct flight. That was my next question. Do you take a direct flight?
Yeah, we do. We do. We always take a direct.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of UK travelers wouldn't do, Dave, because there are a lot of cheaper options doing layovers somewhere, Philly or Chicago or wherever. But no, we've always taken the direct flight, and historically we go from Manchester all the way to straight over to McCarran. It's a beautiful flight, actually, straight over the top of the world. So you come, is it 11 hours? So you're coming all the way over Canada, and it's just an amazing flight. But no, we've never done a split flight.
Dave, we're not the people to do indirect. I'm so paranoid. If my suitcase didn't make it, then crikey.
Yeah.
I mean, I panic enough about one flight.
Yeah, no, I get it. We had to.
No, we're definitely silent.
I think
go ahead. Sorry.
So no, sorry, Dave. I think and I'm probably generalising here, but for most Brits, catching a flight is still a fairly big deal. And when I speak to American friends in Vegas, it's kind of you guys catch flights like we catch buses, right? So for us to change in, I don't know, say Philadelphia or wherever, that's kind of a big, oh my God, it's another airport. It's another, it's we just want to get on that plane and just kick back for 11 hours and they'll get us to where we. Yeah, we could probably save a couple £100 by changing and going non-direct. A lot of UK travellers will fly to LA and then just come back, but we've never done it. No.
I honestly don't blame you. I mean, our last trip we had to do a change just because of COVID and all the flight changes and everything, and that was the first time we've ever done an indirect flight to Vegas, and frankly I hated it. It's like a 4-hour flight for me to get to Vegas, and now it's a 7-hour flight because it just becomes inconvenient, and then we're sitting on the plane after when we made our connection, and I'm watching out the little window. Is that our suitcase going on? Is that our suitcase?
That's us.
we did do a couple of trips out of the 9 we've done together. We've split the vacation with 4 nights in New York before we've come to Vegas, and that was taxing enough, wasn't it? Like JFK to McCarran, that's no fun, really. We had a couple of interesting flights into.
Oh God, yeah, we did.
We love New York.
Just delays and stuff.
Yeah, we need to go back there sometime. But no, the only time we've not gone directly to Vegas is when we've had a separate part of the vacation in New York.
The problem is going anywhere else for us just takes away the time that we're in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So it's a great idea, and we would love to go many places, but
I get it, because it's us. I have much more limited vacation holiday time than Michelle has. People are always like, "Are you going to go anywhere other than Vegas?" No.
Absolutely not.
Why would I?
What a stupid question.
It's kind of a stupid no. Why would I do anything else? I can go to Vegas, and all of my money pretty much goes to my food and fun budget. My room's basically paid for. You know what I mean? Why would I want to go someplace else and have to pay for food, fun? Oh, and I have to pay for the nice room for the whole time too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
All right, guys, so moving on. Question 4. Are you guys, and this is going to be for both of you, are you guys early packers, or do you guys do it the night before and start shoving shit in a bag?
Wow.
Well,
so take this.
So there's early packers, then there's very early packers, and then there's us over here. We are ready. If oh gosh, we probably start. I'm not even joking. 3 months out. Sometimes.
Yeah.
We can't do that. We have too many dogs. Everything would be covered with dog hair.
Shall we get the suitcases down, and then just slowly and surely, bit by bit, things just move in? No, we are super ready by the time we go. I'm not saying it's the highlight of our year. I'm not going to lie. That's
we come for a substantial period of time. We might touch on this later, Dave, but we bring a lot of stuff, and we have the whole wardrobe with us. So yeah, we are thinking a long way before the flight as to what needs to be ready and what needs to be out, and we're planning it. We are massively early packers. Yeah, the suitcase will be done minimum 2 weeks before we leave, right?
Minimum.
Yeah.
Oh,
minimum.
You guys are way too organized for me.
Walking around in the same pair of pants for 2 weeks before.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm terrible. I'm told you can't wear that if you want to wear it to Vegas in 2 months' time, Darren. You know, it's
right, because there's no such thing as a laundry machine or a dry cleaner. All right, guys. So there is that one taken care of. And what airline do you guys usually fly out of England then?
We always fly with Virgin. It's been tempting recently to move away from them. BA have done some really good
they have
deals, and I think there's like some smaller airlines that are starting to emerge. But Virgin have always been really good for us.
I think we started out flying with Virgin Atlantic, and it just, I don't know, it was a cool experience. It was, I've flown with British Airways before, have you?
Yeah. Not to Vegas. But...
And I think Virgin just felt a little bit more relaxed, if that's the right word. And we've stuck with them, probably to our cost. There's probably cheaper and easier ways to get to Vegas than what we do, but
we're booked in with air miles and stuff now. So, you know,
because loyalty does pay off at some point, so...
Absolutely. We're not expecting to pay for our next flights, particularly other than taxes, really, with the air miles we've got racked up, right?
Yeah. So, yeah.
So why would
we?
Okay. Well, I'm down with that completely. I get that. All right, guys. So when you guys get there, are you Uber? You guys do rideshare? You guys do taxis? Or are you guys fancy schmancy and get the hire cars to take you?
So strange one, I guess, for maybe many other people. But where we live, we don't have Uber, so It's not something that we're used to. We tend to taxi everywhere, from like the airport to the hotels and stuff. And then if we're going somewhere specific at night time and it's a long way away, we always get a taxi. Honestly, it's because I know where the taxi ranks are.
Yeah.
And sometimes the Uber are they're a little bit further up. I'm being lazy. But we also love the bus. I mean,
the bus is awesome.
Don't judge us, but
the bus is awesome. So just coming back to the taxi Uber thing, when we first started coming as UK visitors, our mobile phones didn't automatically have data over there, or if it did, it was like extortionate. So we got into the habit of, well, actually, Uber and Lyft aren't for us because we have to go somewhere to get Wi-Fi and we can't be arsed, right? So we just used to get a cab, and we've never really fallen. We have used Uber, but we haven't used Lyft. But the bus, man, and I know you know, it wasn't one of the options in your question, Dave, but we'll gladly jump on that SDX. That is the bomb in terms of if you just want to go, you know, to the mall and jump off everywhere. So we have got no shame. And for us, again, as Brits, catching the bus in Vegas is exciting. It's like different.
Sure. See, we don't have public transportation here where I live. They do, you know, really? 30 minutes away down in downtown Cincinnati, or 30 minutes north in Dayton. But where I'm at, the public transportation is non-existent. It's non-existent. So I mean, you know, you hear the American, I guess, stereotype where we drive everywhere. It's 100% the case. If you don't have a car where I live, you're not going anywhere.
True. Yeah.
So we avoid the bus. I mean, we did the bus once from Fremont to back to the Strip, and full disclosure, I had apparently eaten something that was not agreeing with me on Fremont Street. And we were actually on our way down to New York on the Deuce. We got the Cosmo, and I had to just barrel ass off the bus because right now, we got to get the bus right now. Michelle's just like, what's going on? We got to get off the bus right now. So maybe that put a bad taste in my mouth for the bus. Maybe I'm blaming the bus like subconsciously, but no, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, I guess I get that because you guys are way more used to using that the bus is available and it should be used.
Yeah, well, we funnily enough, we don't actually use a lot of public transport back in England. It's more, as I say, it just feels so different. If we jump in a cab, whether it's Uber or Lyft or whatever, okay, the steering wheel's on the wrong side, but other than that, we're in a car. It doesn't feel particularly different when we're at home. But when we get on the bus, as we call it, with the very pronounced U in it, bus. When we get on the bus in America, it just feels great. There's nothing, and again, UK listeners or UK viewers of this might recognise it, but when you get on and the lady with the American accent says, "The deuce!"
The deuce.
It's just like, wow, we're in Vegas. That's one of those little moments where...
You just want to hear it. Sometimes you just like shout it in the house randomly for no reason.
Well, see, that's why I'm doing this show, because that is a very unique perspective that like a lot of my American listeners are not going to have. I feel like a lot of my American listeners that do take the deuce to it because it's cheap.
Absolutely, and we wouldn't, I completely get it. It does seem like a cheapskate way to get about, but for us, we're just like, 8-month-old Labradors just sort of looking out the window. Everything's fun.
Also, we want to go everywhere, so sometimes we will hit every single area in one day because we've got a 24-hour pass and we're going to use it.
We're British. We're going to use it.
Because I'm going to get my visa, right? But yeah, absolutely. Like we'll go to the North Mall, South Mall, Town Square, and then
all in like the day because we bought the 24 pass, so we've got to use it.
See, that's another thing that I've noticed a lot of like my UK listeners and UK watchers, subscribers do. You guys are very, very much about the outlet malls. You guys love the outlet. Well,
yes, we do.
I have an outlet mall with all those stores in it about 1/8 of a mile from my house.
Takes the shine off, doesn't
it? It really does. Yeah, it really does.
We have them, buddy, but they're just not great by comparison. We have an outlet mall or an outlet location, I guess 8 miles up the road from where we are, but
it's not the stuff they wouldn't want.
Yeah, it's for me, when I go to the mall, Ralph Lauren obviously is an American brand. That is crazy expensive over here. In the same way that some British brands are really expensive when I come to the States. I can't believe how much you pay for like Paul Smith or Burberry or whatever. But anyway, what's good for us is also, I love the sports stores, so I'll just go straight to like Lid's locker room and just hit the bargain rail, and any shirts that are like $8, I'll have those. Never heard of that sports team, give it to me.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just, again, because it's new, it's that this is definitely not England sort of factor kicking in. And you love the sort of higher end stuff as well, don't you? You bought a few decent things from the malls.
Yeah, they have some very decent stuff at those.
They do.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah, give me a bargain. I'm there. It's just, and also shopping in the sunshine really helps. We don't get that here.
No, I get that. Yeah, because my problem is that our local outlet mall has a Puma outlet, and I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I have a Puma problem.
We have noticed.
Yes. So those T-shirts you always see me in, they're like $8 a piece at the Puma store. I got to go in there like once every 2 weeks. Do you have a new color? I literally have like back here behind me, behind the green screen, I have like a closet with like 40 or 50 pairs of Pumas. So yeah, it's a problem, and my wife likes to tell me that it's a problem.
It feels like it might be a problem.
I have more shoes than Michelle does, I swear to God.
Wow, that is definitely a problem.
Yeah, and I said that out loud in front of people.
we won't judge.
No, I might have to cut that part out. We'll see. All right, guys, do you have a favorite hotel that you like to stay at?
Yeah,
we do. Go on.
Bellagio. Every time, this.
We're right there with you.
Just obsessed with it. I mean, there's the obvious things about the Bellagio that are amazing. It's iconic. It's centre strip. It's beautiful. But this is a really, really strange thing to say about the Bellagio. But for us, we've always had a really personal experience
Definitely.
there. I think it might have been only on our second or third trip, and this probably tells you that we gambled too much, Dave, but one of the really old school croupiers is actually retired now. I was walking past the table one night, and there's tens of hundreds of thousands of people that go through that hotel every year, right? And not only did he recognise me, he actually pointed at the seat that I was sat at the last time that I played there.
Wow.
Sort of invited me in. So that was really, really nice. And we sort of got to the stage where whenever we walked past, he would show his hands to the cameras and come out and give me a hug.
He'd come and hug you. And this is the Bellagio. This is not, with all due respect, the D where you're getting high-fived every 5 minutes by the dealers and the pit bosses. You know, Dave, the dealers on the strip are pretty conservative. They're old Teamsters. They've seen it all. They've seen 1,000,001 British tourists in their lives.
Right.
And yet, Dwayne, this guy's name was, God bless you, Dwayne, if you ever watch this. He would literally, when he saw us, he would, as Sally said, show the cameras that he's nothing in his hands, and he would come from behind and give us a hug in the Bellagio. Exactly. And waitresses who remember our orders, they're like, do you want Red Bull this time, or do you want your Baileys? Is it getting close to your bedtime? And they haven't seen us for like 12 months, and they remember this shit.
No, we've had that same experience there a couple of times too, where it's we've been recognized, from previous trips. I mean, for a big hotel, they do sometimes make it feel a little more personalized, I think, than some of the other hotels do.
Yeah, they do.
So and we love everything about it. The room, the pools, and even the playlist of the music. They've changed it quite in the last couple of years, but I knew that playlist,
right,
like memorize. I knew exactly what was coming if sort of like one song played, and really sentimental. But my dad's favourite song was Mike and the Mechanics, The Living Years, and that was on the playlist at the Bellagio. So as soon as it played, I was like, my dad knows that all's good. He wants me to be here.
So
he wants me to play this machine right here when that just came on.
Yeah.
Right.
He wants me to put the 200 in the Buffalo. Dad's telling me to put 200 in the Buffalo and then
what can I do?
Yeah. They've used our photos on their big screen as well, haven't they?
Oh yeah, they when they do that sort of start your week with something beautiful every Monday.
Yeah.
They've used a couple of our photos on their page as well, which obviously you don't get any recognition for.
No, you sign disclaimers and stuff, but we weren't there at the time, which was gutting. But they've what's it called? The big sort of screen in between just outside the Cosmo, sort of in between the Cosmo and the Bellagio where the book shop is.
Yep.
They've nicked our stuff off Instagram and used it, which is pretty cool. So
that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I would be pretty stoked about that one. So I guess that means you guys are M Life people then, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, we are.
We're M Life. Although we're Bellagio fanatics, we do look at the deals. Funnily enough, the next trip we've got booked, we were going to split it between Total Rewards and M Life, because although we haven't really given Caesars much love in terms of spent a lot of money in their properties, we've fed the machines, particularly in the Cromwell, enough to trigger some comps. So
sure.
We were whenever we next go, we may well split the trip in two, but our preference, the better offers that we get are through M Life, and that's purely because we've spent a bunch of money with those guys over the last decade. So I guess we are.
I get it. And you guys, I'm sure you've heard, I'm a fan of the Cromwell. So I mean, if you get a chance, if you ever decide you want to split it, try the Cromwell out, because they make you feel like, like you guys were talking, you felt like it was a kind of a personal service at Bellagio. It's even better than that at Cromwell. It was really an amazing experience.
It's a hotel anyway, isn't it? Yep. So I guess it's not.
It's one of our favourite casinos to go.
Oh yeah.
Love the Cromwell. And we were talking about the Bellagio. I know a lot of people think that the Bellagio's too big and stuff, but honestly, I've always felt like, whether it's true or not, or whether they actually are just kind of trying to make it seem that way, but I always felt like staying at the Bellagio, they made you feel like you were somebody because you were at the Bellagio. You know what I mean? And that's part of why we enjoy the Vegas experience, because you can, for a week, you're somebody. You know what I mean? We may live in our small house and go to our normal workaday humdrum, jobs, but for a week we're somebody staying in a suite in the Bellagio, and whether that's just on our heads, we're enjoying our stay.
Yeah.
Oh, I completely understand that feeling, and what a feeling it is as well. We always say it's like you can be and feel something completely different when you're in Las Vegas.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. I mean, it's completely different. Everybody's like, well, why can't you just stay home and go to the local and have a couple of drinks? It's just the sights, the sounds, the smells, the vibe. Everything is completely different. And if you go to Vegas and you become a Vegas fanatic like us, then you will completely understand.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also try and tell me that there is a finer smell. I'm all about the smells, Dave. You know this, but there's no finer smell than when you first walk into the lobby at the Bellagio.
No, it's pretty.
No. Mirage is pretty good too. I've always liked the smell of the Mirage too.
Mirage is lovely.
You feel on holiday in the Mirage.
Yep.
You know what's nice as smell-wise, and I'll throw this out there. Nobody will agree with me, but the Margaritaville smells awesome.
Obsessed.
It really not. It's just got this. It's probably not.
Well, it did before.
Maybe
changed it.
Yeah, well, it did a few years ago.
So the smell of spilled margaritas and spilled beer, that's what you were really...
It's not that bad. Come on.
I was never a Margaritaville fan, honestly.
No, well, I'm not a fan. I don't love the casino. Well,
it was all about the smell.
I was going to say, when I said the casino, I don't like the 7 slots they've got in there particularly. But
right.
The smell, you could definitely tell the difference when you walk through the Flamingo into the, oh God, this is awful. For a man who doesn't know when he's going back, talking about this is breaking my heart.
And you're desperate for it.
I am desperate for it. But yeah, walking through the Flamingo, you knew when you crossed the threshold to Margaritaville, there was a definite change in the aircon, right? So,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It was like a completely different environment in there. All right, guys. So we're going to talk about your rooms. When you guys go, I know you said you go for longer periods of time. So I'm going to guess I know the answer to this, but is your room just to sleep in, or do you guys have a room to stay in, if that makes sense?
100% stay.
Yeah, stay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think if we lived closer and we were going for a couple of nights, I wouldn't be so precious about it. But the room is really important to us, although we don't spend a huge amount of time in there because we take so much stuff with us and we buy a lot of stuff when we're over there. You want to feel like once you're unpacked, it's kind of like home.
It's comfort, right?
Yeah.
No,
feel comfortable.
Preaching to the choir on that one. Yeah, just to be able to, you may not have the time to do it, but at least you have the option to go and sit on your ass for an hour and do nothing. You know what I mean?
We know for sure that, the daytimes, whether it's like the first couple of days, we'll do 30,000 steps in that day, and we'll come back and we'll have been out all day, and then we're going out to a restaurant or somewhere. So we'll need a nice place, and I'll take a couple of hours out to flick the telly on and watch some college football or whatever.
Nap while I shower.
Yeah, basically, I'm sitting on the bed with a big bag of chips, just watching, I don't know, some college football game that's on. That is just as big a part of my vacation as going to the nightclub or going to the restaurant. So love the room. I get why people go for the cheapest option because it's just a place to sleep. But no, not the way we see it.
Well, I honestly couldn't imagine being stuck in, and no offense to anybody who does, but I could not imagine like getting ready for dinner with my wife in there in the regular room with like the little bitty bathroom and the small room and no place. I'm in her way. I've got to come. Excuse me. I got to come around here. Oh, sorry. I got to squeeze around here and get this. And I'm sitting there holding the mirror for her and in the correct light at the window. So she.
Holding the lighter up.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, I got 2 phones on with the flashlights on, trying to get the lighting right for her. All right, cool, guys. So, do you guys have a first thing that you do every trip?
Wow, we do. This could go on a bit. So
we're quite regimented people.
The very first thing we do. This makes us sound like we're desperados, but we just hit the bar. We check in to the hotel, but we don't go to the room, literally with our suitcases. And bear in mind, this is on the back of an 11-hour flight, and we've probably been at the airport in the UK for 2 hours before that, and our body clocks are totally screwed up.
Okay, making a note. Alcoholics. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, alcohol. Yeah, exactly. So just go and grab a drink on a bar on the casino floor. So if we're in the Bellagio, it's the Baccarat bar. And just grab a Stella and just sit back because we know it's all ahead of us. And then the next thing is to go and do our lucky spin, which will mean nothing to you. Let me explain. So about a week before we go, I'll put a message out to the family and say, give me a number between 1 and 36. And they'll all come up with a number. And on that, literally within half an hour landing, I will have put that spin, or half an hour checking into the hotel, I will have put $5 on each of those numbers. And if somebody wins, they get an alert on Facebook from us to say, hey, you won. There's 180 quid waiting for you when I get back home. So get a beer, lucky spin. That's the first thing we do before we eat.
Fantastic.
And then it really gets exciting, doesn't it?
Well, I say it gets exciting. It's all about, for us, the evening time, day one, or like landing day, is get yourself on Vegas time as quickly as you can do. So we just need to stay awake. We can't go to sleep. So we'll go to the room, we unpack, we get set, and then we go out. We kind of, if we're staying in the Bellagio, we tend to like not go any further than the Cromwell or maybe Caesars for food or something.
Yeah.
But our
just stay awake.
Day one first restaurant is always the Trevi at Caesars, just inside the Forum shops. He needs stodge and I need like something like a salad or something. It's a beautiful Italian restaurant. Highly recommend it if you've not been. And then we kind of go Cromwell, maybe a little bit of Bally's.
Yeah.
And then work our way back to the Bellagio. And if we can make it past midnight on that first day, because it's like an 8-hour shift.
Yeah, we're totally blagging it. It's kind of we land at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or around that time, as an example, and our bodies think it's 11 o'clock at the evening. So if we bail out and if we tap out and say, no, we'll go to bed for a couple of hours, that's it. Your whole first 2 days are screwed. So we've got to go and, as Sally says, we go to the Trevi at the Caesars Forum shops. It's not the great, it's a beautiful place, but, first night in Vegas, we eat in that place because it'll just carve us up. It'll keep us going. Then we'll hit the Cromwell, smash the Red Bulls, we'll come back. And it's just about getting on to Vegas time. And if we can, when we land at 3 Vegas time, if we can stay up till midnight Vegas time, which is 8 a.m. in terms of our heads and our bodies, then we're sorted, we're set. We know that from then on, we're on Vegas time and we're good. So yeah, a bit of a grab a drink, lucky spin, get out there, stay away, keep splashing water on your face, get the Red Bull down you, get some carbohydrates in you, and get on Vegas time as quick as possible. That's the plan.
Well, I get that because we only have a 3-hour difference, but it makes a difference even to us, because we're very much on a I think I talked about this before. We're very much on a regimented schedule. I work 12-hour shifts, so I've got to be at work at 6:30 in the morning. I'm usually up at like 4:45. I got to have a cup of coffee and settle down before I leave, but it's just regimented. Bedtime, get up time, and we generally don't have a hard time like staying up, because if we arrive in Vegas at like 7 o'clock at night, to our bodies, to us that's 10 o'clock at night, and our bodies are saying it's time to go to bed because you got to get up in the morning. We never have a problem staying up. Our problem is sleeping in the goddamn morning. I'm still awake at 4 o'clock in the morning.
This is the thing. So again, although we'll stay up till midnight, 1 a.m. on that first night, we'll always be up by like 6:30, 7 o'clock. And then I know the question was, what's the first thing you do? And we're going on a little bit with this, but that then means that the first proper day is already lined up, because it's the only day of the vacation where we'll be out on the strip at like 7:30 in the morning.
Which is a fantastic time of day to be on the Vegas strip.
Oh, mate, it's brilliant. It's just, and we know that once we get into day 2, day 3, day 4,
you're never going to see it again.
We're not seeing another morning full stop, let alone 7 in the morning. We might not get up till dinner time the next day. So, as in lunchtime. So, literally that first day is glorious. We're on the SDX at like 9 a.m. As soon as that thing starts running, we're on it, and we're up to the North Mall. We'll hit the North Mall between 9 and 11. Then we'll pop back to Fremont Street, get some goodies from our friends at Binion's and all over that sort of area. And then we know our first proper night was like day 2. After we've fully acclimatized, we have to do a rooftop bar. So we know when we've really landed in Vegas, when we're on that rooftop bar. It used to be Ghost Bar at Palms, and that's now I think Apex Social for those keeping score. Last couple of years we've used Voodoo Lounge at Rio, but that's kind of the start of the vacation, seeing the whole strip and thinking, right, this is our playground for the next God knows how many days.
Right.
We're just getting started, right? So it's that's the start of our trip proper.
That's the bit of us, Dave. Get us on a roof, get us with a view, and we're absolutely golden. And for us, I think that's because it's been so busy, or you've been so tired in the 24 hours beforehand. When we stand on that rooftop, that's kind of then. Okay, now this is it. We can see the whole of this glorious town.
Yeah.
And
the feeling that feeling is just amazing, right? Because it's just you can't even explain it. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody watching this right now kind of understands where I'm coming from, because random people I don't think are watching this and being like, oh yeah, well, you get that. No, I've got Vegas people that are watching this. You understand? It's just, I mean, you can see in my background, that's what you're looking at, and it's like, Jesus Christ, this is the greatest place in the country. You know what I mean? This is the best place on earth.
Yeah, genuinely is.
So yeah, that's our first thing.
That's like our first 48 hours. That's a pretty thorough answer for that question.
There we go. Well, I'm going to have to cut this thing way down. I'm just kidding. All right, so
I need the British guy.
So are you guys table players, slot players, or a little bit of both?
You're slots, aren't you?
I've always been about the slots. I love them. And I still do. Although I do kind of dabble in tables, because he did. Well, you still do play them, but Darren's done like a complete 360 in his habits. You were table frenzy, weren't you?
Yeah. So full disclosure, gambling for British people is not that big. It's been legal in this country for years and years and years and years and years. So I'm quite a functional gambler. So when I first started going to Vegas, I was looking to limit the house edge. It was blackjack, play basic strategy as best I can, get the odds on craps, avoid the 0-0 roulette. Oh my God, they've now got 0-0. Are you kidding me? So I was very methodical in my gambling, and it was tables. And for me, slots were kind of a bit of a mug bet, if you excuse the expression. It was a place to go and get a drink, but it wasn't a place to make any money. In the last 3 or 4 years, you've converted me. I am now all about the buffaloes and the shiny lights and the flashes.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I don't play as much tables as I used to, and I've become a slot DJ.
We get, and I'm sure you do, when your favourite machines are not available.
Yeah, angry.
My favorite is when Bob is sitting at your favorite machine just to watch his wife gamble at the next machine.
Jesus, hate Bob. Bob.
Get up, Bob.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's sitting there on his phone.
Yeah.
You gonna put some money in that shit, because I'm getting ready to move.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so this one gets a little bit personal. What's your guys' gambling budget look like? Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, sure. So we don't really have a gambling budget as such. We have a daily budget. So again, because of the duration of our trip, we know we're taking X amount of money, and if we carve X by the number of days we're there, we won't go too far wrong. So we'll have a budget each day. The problem with that, it's a day budget rather than a gambling budget, is we know on the days we're going to eat in a fancy restaurant, maybe the meal's going to be $150, $200 versus the day we're going to go downtown and have a slice, which will be a $10 meal.
Right.
So the problem is with having a daily budget is that the cheaper days, in inverted commas, become the days when you've got more money to gamble. But one thing we have got, despite our degenerate sort of traits, is we are very disciplined. I can hand on heart say I've never done the walk of shame back to the safe and got more money out. So we are very disciplined, Dave. We're very boring, I guess, that we have a budget. And some of our best nights, actually, I think you've got a little tale, haven't you? But some of our best nights have been when we've done our brains in and we've got no money left whatsoever, and we've been miles away from where we need to get to, and we're just riding that last few dollars of today's budget. Do you remember a couple of years ago?
I do. In fact, it was on our last trip. We had.
Oh, was your last trip?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, obviously, it was ages ago now because COVID and stuff. But we'd gone down to Mandalay.
Well, we've been all over, but we were at Mandalay.
We were going to do like that side of the strip, so we went through the Cosmos to New York, and the Excalibur and so on and so forth. Got down to Mandalay, and for whatever reason, we got stuck on this buffalo machine. And you know what this is like when you know that it's going to pay out.
It wants to give it to me. It wants to give it to me. I can feel it. I mean, I've had two of the bonus symbols 18 times. It wants to give me the bonus.
It's coming. You can feel it.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So we on this machine, and we were down to our last $200. So, and
we were down to our last 20.
Well, slowly but surely, all of that went in, barring 20. So we had to walk away with $20 and make our way back to the Bellagio with 20.
Well, no, but this is like, I don't know, 10:30 at night. Most rational people would have used that $20 to go back to the Bellagio, crack open the safe, get some more money out and enjoy the night. Not us. We stuck with it. So we went through every single casino on the way. We got the tram or the monorail or whatever it's called. And you know what? We rode that $20 all the way back to the Bellagio. It was like, we lost $10 in Luxor. We've got to make some money back in Excalibur. Oh shit, we made $40 in Excalibur. Right, we can have some fun in New York, New York. And literally, Dave, I swear to you, it was one of our best nights. We just rode fantastic all the way through. And then I think we landed back at the Bellagio at like 1:30 in the morning, and it was a casual day for us. We were in like shorts, t-shirts. And Sally gets a call from one of our Instagram friends.
Oh, Vegas Ben.
Hi, Vegas Ben.
Hi, Vegas Ben. He's a fantastic guy. So we were like literally down to our arse on $20.
Yeah, we were the cheapest guys on the strip that night.
And he invited. We had his friend was headlining at Highs as a DJ, and he had a VIP table. So within half an hour, we'd been back to the room, got dressed into our glad rags. In Hyde on a VIP. In fact, we were on the stage with the DJ.
Yeah, well, literally, we were three in the morning. 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning, we were live streaming from the DJ booth at Hyde nightclub with people like.
That is fantastic.
Literally 3 hours later, we were down to our last $20 in Mandalay.
So you guys are schlepping down in the monorail, 5, 10, 15. Okay, we can get a medium Coke and a half a slice, and the next thing you know, you're high rolling it. Right.
We've done our brains, totally done our brains on the money completely, and then we roll into Hyde, and the girl comes with a box of cigars and the moe and the. Oh my God! It was like
pizza delivery and all sorts. Yeah. It was unbelievable.
That would have been an unbelievable experience in itself, actually.
Oh, it's just massive. This is the beauty of Instagram. So we would never have met characters like Ben and people like that because. You know, we're very discerning about our Instagram follow. Obviously, you get a lot of hit ups from, again, with all due respect, people just wanting to sell you stuff. But we're quite discerning as to who we want in our community, and just stuff like that happens when you're nice to nice people. Another little Instagram tale. Who's the guy at the airport who?
I don't know if you'll follow this guy, but you should. He put some great back street stuff. John Strymon. He actually works at McCarran Airport.
So he'll video our plane landing. He'll literally will arrive at the Bellagio and he's like, "Hey, great to see you guys," and there'll be a little video that he sent us of our Virgin Atlantic flying in.
Wow. That's
thank God for it. Thank God for our Instagram friends. Or you're
awesome.
Yeah,
that is fantastic.
So whether it's somebody videoing you landing or inviting you to a club when you're down to your last $4 and you've got back to the Bellagio in your shorts and t-shirt, it's beautiful, mate. Beautiful.
That is fantastic.
So I think the question was, do we have a budget?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yes, we do.
Back to the subject at hand.
Yes. Yes, we have a budget. I guess on a normal day, we'd put maybe $300-400 as a gambling budget, but that may flex depending on how much we're spending on food.
Yeah, so you guys are spending. You guys are like same realm as us. You're not spending retarded money.
$400-ish a day to
total. So if we're eating at Prime, then do you know what the gambling budget that day is? $200. If we're eating a slice from downtown, the gambling budget that day might be $400. But
right.
The bottom line is we're not going to change our daily budget because we'll run out of cash. We sound dead boring. Sorry.
No, it's not boring at all. That's just why I'm doing this, because it's everybody does it different. You know what I mean? Okay, so do you guys have, what's the best win you've ever had?
Best win?
Ooh.
Yep.
There's two ways to answer this. The best win monetary, we can say, but then sometimes the best win from an enjoyment factor can be a completely different.
Oh, I'm talking money. I'm talking your best. We're talking cold hard cash here.
In that case, we had a gambling kitty with our two friends. We went out. Was it last year or the year before with Nick and Lynn?
No, the last time we went, whenever that was.
Yeah, who knows when the last time we went was? A long time ago. Last April, April before last. We went with two friends, or rather two of our friends from the UK were in town, and we had like a pool. I think it was about, I don't know, $300 to gamble with, and we literally were down to $40 in the Cosmo. We'd ridden it all day, to be fair. It had paid for lunch at the Eiffel Tower restaurant. We'd done well, and my mate and I were sort of tapping each other out of the roulette table. So he'd have half an hour, I'd have half an hour, he'd had half an hour, and we were down to $40. And I swear to God, Dave, I tapped him out, and it was one of those, no skill involved whatsoever, so I'm not taking credit, but every single number I put my money on just hit, and I doubled up and it hit, and I trebled up and it hit. And within 45 minutes, the $40 went to like 500. And I was like, what do? Do we take the money? We're back even now. And we literally, within another hour, it was like $1,700. It was just cash. I've never seen anybody have a run on a roulette table. But in terms of enjoyment, I walked away, and it felt like hard work. I was like, that just felt...
Oh my God, because you're ready to have a heart attack every time that ball drops.
Absolutely. So that, $1,700 on a roulette table in like an hour is probably our best financial win. But, in terms of enjoyment, my brother was in town with us a couple of years ago in the area, and he got some free play from the Konami, whatever. And because I went with him, I put $20 in the hangover machine, a machine I've played many times, and I know it very well. And I got the Allen Progressive, which was the 5 suitcases that you need for Allen, and then the 6 briefcases, and you know that the Progressive's behind one of them.
Right.
And sure enough, I clicked it. So I got the $529 Progressive jackpot on Allen. And for me personally, that was far more enjoyable than
tearing the house down like it was 50 grand.
Yeah.
It meant more than sweating my nuts out on a roulette table for an hour to make 3 times as much. So in terms of best win, you had a fun one at the Cromwell as well, didn't you, with all them free plays?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like the biggest payout, but I got 1,200 free spins at the Cromwell.
She was there for hours.
Now, you know the Cromwell well.
It was crazy.
And how great their drink service is.
Oh, you were smashed.
If you try watching 1,200 spins with the drink service at the Cromwell, my God.
So we saw it land. It was one of those machines that just locks and locks and locks and locks with a full screen of free spins, and then they just kept coming. And I knew we were onto something when one of the ladies in there, who was a hardened Vegas gambler, you could tell by the amount of lanyards and stuff she'd got, came and pulled up a chair behind us. She literally, and then all of a sudden a crowd appeared, and then security appeared. And then I went off and played craps for an hour, and I came back and she'd still got 400 spins left. And I'm like, when's this going to end? But it was a penny slot. I think we won about $700.
Yeah, it was $700, and that. I mean, obviously, I'm still, terribly excited about it, and I walked off sideways.
That's just amazing. That's amazing, because for me, I think probably one of my best gambling nights, and it was on a video. It was a couple of years ago, our anniversary, when I was playing Fortune's Cup. I was pretty much just hammered, and there's just a group of guys that were there playing it, and we played for like an hour. I was winning $35, just screaming my head off, and it was a great time. And I think that's one thing that I want to do one of these days when we're in Vegas and there's a group of people. I think it would be a ton of fun to get as many people as we can get around the Fortune's Cup machine and just play that. But that's one of those where we can't do that early in the day. That's a drunk one, because there needs to be screaming, yelling, and shenanigans going on.
Absolutely. Get us involved.
Totally.
We're there.
All right. So how long do you guys usually stay, and what do you guys consider your perfect length of stay?
11 nights.
11.
I'll just be honest
11.
with you.
No,
11 nights.
Very specific.
Yeah.
11. Basically, that is a specific number.
It's a specific number. So we'll fly in on the Sunday and we'll leave the following Thursday. And for us, that means that because the flight on Sunday is it used to be when we flew from Manchester, when that was an option, it was kind of early in the morning. So we'd go up to the airport the day before, and then we'd take off from McCarran on the way back on the Thursday, so 11 days after, and we'd land in the UK Friday morning our time, absolutely beat. And we knew that the next 3 days were going to be hell, because we'd been on some crazy time clock where we'd been up till 4 or 5 in the morning every night for 11 days straight drinking. So we needed the 2 weeks off work to have an 11-day stretch in Vegas. That's perfect for us. It gives you like a reacclimatization period at the end of the break.
Absolutely. We've gone for a couple of like one-nighters, And we still have to make sure we have that next
3
day
days
off.
That.
You have to have that next day off. I know people that when they'll go on vacation, they'll be in Florida. You know, that's a 14-hour drive from here. They'll drive home on Sunday and be at work at 6:30 in the morning. They didn't get home till 11 o'clock that night. Not a
Those people are
chance.
human.
Not a chance. That's no. Maybe when I was 25. I mean, granted, these guys are generally younger than I am, but Christ, not going to do that anymore. So 11 days is the perfect stay. So you've
got to factor in, Dave, we're making a fairly decent investment in making the flight over. So I do know that a lot of UK people will fly in for 4 or 5 days, and I've got full respect for them. But we are not multiple time a year visitors, so we're not like friends who come 2, 3, 4 times a year. We will come once and we'll ball it. So yeah, it's 11 nights. The only time we've gone for less than that is when we've split the trip up with New York. So we've done like 4 in New York and then 6 in Vegas.
Right.
And again, as Sally alluded to earlier, as much as we love New York, we're kind of sitting in Washington Square Park on day 3 thinking we're not in Vegas. What's going on here?
Because then you've also got a day that's burned for traveling. Just even though it's only a 5.5-hour flight from New York to Vegas, it's still your day is gone.
Yeah,
that day is done.
Yeah,
it's time that we're not in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so we're long haulers. We're 11 days.
Yeah, and for us, and I get that. I get that a lot from like my offshore followers that you guys do the longer trips, and I totally get that. I mean, for me, it's easy. We jump on a plane and we're there in 4 hours, which seems long enough for us. But yeah, if it was going to be an 11, 12-hour flight and the expense that it takes for you guys to get over here and just the general all-around pain in the ass of it, you got to make it worth your while.
Absolutely, yeah. If you came to the UK, you wouldn't just come for a weekend, right?
No, and we're not, because we're planning it. We're thinking about it. It's actually, we're not thinking about it. It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of I was actually really wanting to do it this year, but it's that's not gonna happen. If I can't go to Vegas this year, I'm certainly not gonna be able to get to the UK.
Yeah, well,
exactly. Priorities.
Yeah. Absolutely hear you. No offense taken.
So you guys kind of answered this earlier. Bellagio stairs. My question was going to be, do you stay in the Strip or downtown? Do you guys like going downtown?
We love it. So
yeah,
I mean, to stay in a hotel sleep wise, I think it's always going to be the Strip for us. But if we go for 11 nights, we're spending 3-4 nights as a minimum downtown as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
We love it. I love the grandeur of the opulent hotels, but I love the absolute grit of the downtown hotels as well.
There's some gems down there, and then not just on Fremont Street. You can, as I alluded to earlier, that little chip challenge that we've got going on behind us, that thing did open up our eyes to. There's a few other locations that are off Fremont Street and off the main strip that are great places. So I look forward to going to the California Main Street. I look forward to getting off the STX a few stops before Fremont Street at the Art District and going for a drink at one of our favorite bars, Millennium Fandom Bar. For those that don't know, it's like a sort of a nerd bar of cosplay and stuff like that. Hi Alex, if you're watching. But it's just stuff like that you don't get on the Strip. It's very, very, very Gordon Ramsay shows, Cirque du Soleil, everything is beautiful on the Strip. But if you want a little bit of, real Vegas, you've got to sample other areas.
I agree 100%. 100%. Yeah, because the Strip is very ticky-tacky tourist trap at times.
Disneyland. It's Disneyland Day. It's Disneyland for tourists, for adults, right?
Yep, it is. And our last question, and I know you guys, this was going to make you cry. When's your next trip? Don't know.
Well, I think we've had 3 cancelled so far.
Yeah, in 2020, we've had 3 trips cancelled. So
it's just a crusher.
It's horrible, man.
It's horrible. Just a crusher. You guys should look at September for the summit. I'm just saying.
I know. Do you know what? That's interesting.
We are booked. We're currently booked, but expecting to be cancelled for April.
18th of April.
The dates that we're looking at are in September, and we are aiming to try and be there for the 13th. God willing, if we can fly.
Well, just be aware, we have a couple of our really good friends, Gina and John Kerry, are not going to be in town until 9:45 on the 13th. So we've pushed past, and we're going to do it on this. We're going to do it on Friday the 17th because the 15th is our anniversary, and honestly, we're having a more private get together with some of our friends, and we'll probably be talking to you guys about this afterwards. But we're gonna have Michelle and I both turned 50 this year, and it's our wedding anniversary. So we're gonna have a party with some friends of ours and celebrate our 50th birthday. So yeah, we'll probably be talking offline to you guys about that. But we would love to see you guys there in September because it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be an amazing time. Yeah, because right now we're still. I mean, we were talking March, but I don't know what we're going to do, to be honest with you. We just don't know. We'd like to see the COVID shit get a little more under control, maybe before we get out there. How was the trip?
Because you've done a trip during like lockdown, Dave. How was that? Was it just not?
We alluded to it in our podcast interview with Jeff from Jeff Does Vegas, and we're able to find our Vegas. You know what I mean? Because the things that we love are still there. Yeah. It's just different right now, guys. It was all the way back in September, and things it was different. It just was, and I can't wait for it to get back to normal. I can't. I mean, it's going to be a while. I mean, would I go to Vegas right now? Absolutely, I would. But for me to take 5, 6, 7 days off of work to go, I want to go, but let's just wait and see what's happening, because we've had a couple of trips now this year that have been canceled. Like, we were originally planning in March to be there. We were going to be meeting Ben Heath and Uncle Steve. We're going to be there. You know, Ben and I have become very good friends over the course of the last year.
Lovely guy.
Yeah, super great guy. And they were going to be there. Well, obviously that's not going to happen now. So now we're waiting to see if maybe he's able to do April. Everybody's just playing it by ear right now.
Yeah, it's just crap. Whichever way you deal it, it's crap at the moment. But we know we're absolutely sure we won't be flying on the 18th of April. But we're waiting for Virgin to tell us that,
right?
And then that will be a bump flight. So I think our strategy now is to just take the refund and then rebook for later in the year, because it just seems daft to keep pushing it down. But genuinely, September's on the docket, and if Gina's in town, I've got to be there, because that girl always wins.
Oh my God, we booked Gina.
Bumped into a casino in Leeds, and she won again, like a stupid amount of money.
Gina does not lose.
She doesn't lose.
And then she just dropped 4K on her machine.
Yeah, we're just like, hi Gina, how you doing? And literally within half an hour, she dropped £4,000. And it's like, oh my God, it's not a myth. You genuinely don't know how to lose on a slot machine.
No, it's ridiculous. I love Gina to death, but I can't play the machine next to her because I just get annoyed.
Oh yeah.
I'm sitting here just hitting the button over. Ooh, I won 48 cents. What'd you win? $500. Shut up, Gina.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time today to do this. The How Do You Vegas. It was awesome hearing how you guys do Vegas, because it was different than obviously the last guy I had on, and it's going to be different than who I have on the next time. We appreciate it, guys. This is the Las Vegas couple, Darren and Sally. They can be found on Instagram, and they also just started a new YouTube channel. They have 2 videos up right now.
Don't judge it on that. It's very,
but you guys are very personable on there. You know, go steady.
Go steady. That's a very nice adjective. We're very personable. I do like that adjective, Dave. That's interesting. Thank you.
No, you guys are very personable, and I think that once you guys are able to get back to Vegas and do a few more videos, I think you're going to be pretty successful with it. I really do.
Yeah, I don't know whether we're going to do the whole YouTube thing. I mean, we'll do bits, but we're not going to be in your stratosphere. I think we're
so good.
Yeah, we're looking at the stuff that you do, and Nikki and Matt and Ben and all the other people, and we're like, wow, we are not going to reach that level, but we'll contribute in some small way. And please join us on Instagram if you can.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. Make sure you guys join them. They're going to be linked down below. We want to thank Darren and Sally for being with us today. It was a fantastic time, and we will see ya.